What's this thing?
I won't forgive you!
Here I come! Ready now! Try harder! My turn!
Ready to go!
Dragon
Where are
Form!
you going?
I'm not done! Rain Slash!
Now you see what I can do!
It's time!
Thanks, Kisara!
It's time! It's over! I'm not done! It's over! Try hard! Not again!
By the power of war! Do it! Doreen!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I can feel my power growing!
This will be a delicious
You're
piece of
mine!
cake!
You picked the wrong fight! Take it!
Away!
Dragon Form!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Do you continue on in that vein?
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
A fish! You saw it too, right?
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this. I've got something. We can get a good meal out of this fella.
We can make a real feast out of this bad boy.
All right, once more from the top. All right. That's a bit of a letdown.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
I've got something. I'll get you next time. Yeah. Oh, we've got a lively one. I did it! But I'm not gonna quit now.
Are we going to be able to finish all that?
All right, once more from the top. Yeah! Reel it in. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
That went pretty well.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Looks perfect and tastes just as good.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
We're in a long slog with this one. This one's denied. That's where you go.
Here's the evil.
Piercing roar.
Airborne beast.
Why can't they just sit still?
You want me?
Can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
There you are! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone. Yeah, nice technique. One more. Ground and pound.
Take it! First strike!
Piercing roar. Time is
You'll
done.
pay for that!
I'll bring you back and get through this.
Going in.
You're mine! Not today!
On guard. Igneous discharge. Piercing roar.
Finish it!
Xion.
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble.
Rising
That took more energy than I expected.
I just noticed none of you other Dahnans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Dahnan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Dahnan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Dahnans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Dahnans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
All right.
nowhere to run from my art. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with the wall.
No further.
This one's mine. I'm impressed.
Look shot.
Glacial spear. This one's mine. By the power of water.
You're mine. Away. Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Alvin, this ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that thing.
Commander of Heaven. Phoenix Cyclone.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Dahnan relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dahnan history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. Treasure.
Fine weapon material when I see it.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Too slow! This one's Sara! You're mine!
Take this!
Demon Fang!
Time to shine!
Infernal Torrent!
Look sharp! One more! Igneous discharge! The power of light! Alright, let me at it!
Take this time!
I'm gone! Take this! Time to shine! Piercing roar!
Take this! Rising Fire!
Fantastic! Now my clothes are ruined. Guardian field!
Are you okay?
You're not looking too good yourself.
I'm ready to
Survive!
on it!
You guys heal up! Double Demon Fang! First strike! Double
Piercing
Demon Fang!
roar! Flaming meteor! Crescent!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Nice try! Talon hurricane! Time to shine!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! I'm on it! Demon Fang!
Piercing roar!
Double Demon Fang! This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Get careless.
Don't tell me.
First strike! Be still!
Give him a heartbeat!
I'm on it!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Glacial spear!
Where's the evil?
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Take this! Take this! I'm Luna Rondo! Rising Speed!
On guard! Talon hurricane!
Be still! I'm not done!
Laser appeal. Pierce evil. Do it.
Flaming needlefish!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
Take this! Rising
Piercing
Viper!
roar!
I'm not done!
He's dead! Talon hurricane! Igneous! Shion!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
Hear me. Flame of
I'm on
Glacial spear! Piercing roar! Talon hurricane! Elfin!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix cyclone!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run up and down these slopes all the time for our training exercises.
This one's tough! Come and face me! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! That freaking does it! You're
This
mine!
one's mine!
First strike! An Astral Art?
That's my cue.
You just heal me?
Shut him down!
Right.
You're open! Going in!
The tide of battle has turned. That's the power of comrades and all.
Comrades and all.
How do you like being pounded into shape? Piercing roar!
Let me help.
Igneous discharge! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Shion!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Too slow! Now Biomutant!
This one's got your name on it.
You're open! I'm gone! Talon hurricane! Going in! Take
You're
this!
on!
Look shot! Talon hurricane!
Rising Viper! I'm on it!
Look shot! What's this? That's it! Frozen pound!
Swallow Blade!
I'm gone!
Finish it!
Igneous discharge!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
longer. Don't get careless.
Don't tell me! Damn it! Eat this! You're mine! I'm not done! Blew away! It's over! You're mine!
I'm such a failure.
You'll pay for that! No! Can't end here!
Not done yet. One more. Mega Burst Strike. Annihilation Hurricane.
I'm on it.
Let the marksman handle this.
I'm such a failure.
No further!
Take it. I'm only getting started. Gravitas field. Iron expert coming through. Zephyr Trident. Where are you going? There. I'm only getting. Zephyr Trident.
Prepare to be sealed!
Glacial Spear, pierce evil! Freeze Lancer! Glacial Spear, pierce evil! Think again! Pathetic! Go! You're mine! Damn it! You won't get away with that! Take it! Into the shadows! I can't heal you forever! Hear me!
No further!
Into the annihilation! I'm ready! Zephyr!
Pathetic.
And thus our strength yet grows.
More Dahna ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
I wonder if we can use this.
I sure have built up a sweat. With this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
man, I'm famished.
What's that big tower over there?
We should be able to cook here.
I'm exhausted.
I must admit, I'm rather proud of this dish.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving?
angry. Come on. You have to hold on.
I'll bring you back.
Time to shine. Ground and pound.
Severing wing!
Do it. Not done yet. Appreciate the help.
It was a close thing.
Oh man. I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Mega Ray!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm only getting started.
On guard. Right here. I got you.
Pesky airborne scoundrel.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Piercing roar.
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, I hear.
Nope, that is.
One more!
Time to shine.
Strike! Rising Wyvern! Rising Phoenix!
You're mine! Mega Ray! Annihilation!
Far enough. On
Mega
down.
Ray!
Here and now.
Time to shine!
This one's mine. Crescent moon. Lightning meteor.
Healing
I
circle!
owe you one for that. Look sharp.
Glacial spear! Fierce evil!
Igneous ring rod. This one's mine.
Here, let me help.
This one's mine. Igneous gift rod. Do it to shine. Ridwell.
Frozen!
Hammer.
I can feel my power growing!
Everyone okay?
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about.
No backing down!
Pierce strike! Flame blazer!
Eat this! Eat this! Total devastation!
Mega Ray!
This one's mine.
Flying brazen! Why can't they just sit still?
See ya! Can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! Let's go it!
Law, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your run! And done!
Let's keep up the pace.
Do it! Go in! This one's got your name on it!
I feel sprightlier than before. And just like that, I'm back in. Start by holding the
That's my
line. No sooner said.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Burn in hell!
It's
Eternal devastation! Blue ray! Here I come!
We got the advantage.
Good.
I think the enemy's getting desperate.
Got them where we want them.
Don't tip your hand, though.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pumping.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Let's do it! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that way.
Yes, my lady?
Looks like we won.
Seriously? Is this a joke? In a bind?
spear! Pierce evil!
Blow away!
Tiger blade!
Crush! You're mine!
This here's mine! It's over!
Prepare to be seized on the meter. Actually, perhaps bound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing!
Dragon form! You're finished! Take this! Raining slap!
Now or never.
Here I come! No escape! Eat this! Here I come! I'm not done!
There you are!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that
You're
vein.
mine!
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? Frozen?
Hammer!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
No choice!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around. You made me angry. That was a bad
Here, let me
idea.
help. I never miss! On guard! Annihilation!
Stay away from my friend!
Pierce evil! Do it!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein. I'll bring you
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say? Going in! Hard up! Here's a hero!
I'm not done! Raining slap!
Where was I? Mega ray!
Here I come!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
You're mine!
Look sharp!
You're mine! Not today!
Look sharp!
I'm not done! You're finished!
Beat it! Do it! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right, next one! Look sharp! Already on!
Luna Rondo!
Overhand strike! Going in! One more!
Strike! Do it! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That was a little close for comfort.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
Will be difficult to predict.
Like moth is a flame.
Thank you. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. Elusive deity!
Glacial spear.
Can you take it?
Going
Elusive deity! Not so fast! Can you take it? Tornado drive! Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! Tornado drive!
Here, let me help.
Elusive deity!
First aid. Hurricane foot. Hear me.
Can you take it?
Glacial spear. Pierce evil. Going in.
Yours!
Great!
Coming through.
Come and face me!
I'm only getting started.
Begin!
Going in.
Elusive deity!
I have no limit!
Forgive me. This is my fault. No further!
Into the shadow.
Can you take it? Elusive deity!
Gemini Aqua.
On your knees! Air pressure!
Bring you back from death to bid.
I'll face you! And resonate with the earth! Another incantation ruined! Elusive deity! Tornado drive! Can you take it? On your knees! Air pressure! I'll face you! Elusive deity! I'll face you! Tornado drive! Resonate with the earth! Anything in armor is all! The tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's keep pressing the attack.
Indeed, but remain ever vigilant. I'll face you! Elusive deity! A monk! Elusive deity! I'll face you! I can't take much more further.
Not a chance! Eat dirt! Stardust!
By the power of water. Annihilation. Mega ray.
Here I come! Stardust!
Burning strut.
Nicely done, Xion.
You're slacking. Step it up.
Yeah,
There.
you got it.
Does anyone else think this may be just a bit too tough for us?
Your helping me has become a pattern. For the good of all of us. Is it now?
There. Go.
You...
I'm only getting started.
This one's mine.
Stalagmite!
Nothing gets by me. Piercing? Their arts were interrupted.
Elusive deity! Does it hurt?
This one
This one's mine! Flaming meteor! Hurricane flight! Going in! Take this! Is it in the sky? It's mine! Take crescent moon! I'm only getting one!
I'm ready, Steven Bang!
Ridwell! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Perhaps we ought to recuperate for a while.
I agree. Fighting in this state would be reckless.
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Here's evil! Flaming meteor!
I don't have much left.
Flaming meteor!
Sword Rain Alpha! Finish it! Rising Wyvern! Rising Phoenix! Finish it!
All yours, Kisara.
I can feel my precision improving.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Dahnan to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahagsar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me, why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Reputation
You'll
ruined.
pay for that! Burn! It's wide open!
It won't escape
Who the
me.
hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
Speed's unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
You're mine! I'm not done! You'll try harder! Now! I'm not done!
Glacial spear. Here's evil. Where are you going?
Swallow blade! Negative
Take this.
Denied.
You're mine!
Glacial spear.
It's on! Burn in hell!
Going in. Here's
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down. Going in.
go!
You're mine!
Healing circle!
I couldn't make it in
And
time.
just like that, I'm back in it.
Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said than done.
This one's at mine.
Die. You're mine! No escape!
Not like this.
From beyond. Take this!
Imbue this
No
vanquished
escape!
soul with love.
Take this!
The earth throbs.
Enjoy.
Can't lose. Gravitas field! Mega ray! Annihilation! I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
Take no further.
Not done yet! Take this!
Lunar blast!
You're mine!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. I can't heal you forever.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Try take this.
Enjoy.
Here's evil.
You're mine!
Let the marksman handle it.
Eternal
Glacial spear. Pierce evil.
Can you take it? Take it in your hands now.
Stay away from my friends!
There. One more.
Take this! Eternal
Glacial spear. Pierce evil.
You're mine!
Freeze laser.
Enjoy. I'm not done!
Freeze lancer.
Take this! Try harder! Not a chance! Strike!
Die.
Enjoy. You're mine! Here.
It's over.
Take this! This one's all mine! Take this!
Annihilation.
Ignite! Show me your strength!
It's weakened.
No escape! This ends now!
Fool.
You're mine!
Pathetic.
Strike! Here I come! Take this! Over? Finished? Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Change of strategy.
Glacial spear. Pierce evil.
Double demon fang!
Elusive deity. This one's mine.
Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord? Into the shadows!
This is looking good.
Going in.
Take this!
Healing this one's mine.
Try harder! Not a chance! Over?
Forgive me.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Resuscitation!
Fall.
Light up the dark.
Gravitas field!
Take this!
Mega ray!
Enjoy.
Annihilation!
Nothing gets by me.
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
In light.
This one's mine! Hurricane strike! Where are you going?
Double demon fang! Burn!
Show me your strength.
It's weakened!
This ends now! Take this!
You're mine!
Here.
Over. Can't get out of this.
Don't leave me all alone here.
Flame of fury! Pierce evil!
From beyond. Imbue this
laser.
vanquished soul with love. Resuscitation.
Will this help?
Not done yet!
Healing circle!
Armor won't save you. Your helping me has become a pattern. It's for the good of all. Is it now?
Blow away!
Fall.
Not on my watch!
Any more of this and I'll burn out!
Spear! Pierce evil! Freeze laser!
Double demon fang!
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please.
Alphen?
Shion.
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Dahna astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain, but you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Are we in the right place? This place looks like a mess.
Yes, this is Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar.
I don't see any signs of people. And the buildings.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of place people would actually live.
No soldiers, no Dahnans, not a soul to be seen. Yet look at these facades. This is clearly a Renan district.
Hey, check out that drawing on the castle gate. That's the Darkwing's crest. It's from an old Dahnan legend about a hero who defeated an evil king with a torch and their trusty owl. That's his crest. I'm sure of it.
Really? First time I'm hearing it. So if someone drew it on the gate...
It must mean the Renans have lost control of the city.
Are you suggesting the Dahnans rose up and defeated the Lord here? Hard to believe, but not entirely unthinkable, given the evidence.
Let's look around and see if we can find someone. They might be able to tell us what happened. This is horrible.
Is there truly no one here?
All of these ruins look like they were made pretty recently.
But if that's the case, then where do you think the people that used to live here went off to? There must have been Dahnans and Renans, right?
That's a good question. Even if the Dahnans rebelled and managed to overthrow the Renans here, there should still be some people around.
This debris. Do you think it could be the work of Renan astral arts?
Perhaps, but the appearance of these ruins is rather uniform, which leads me to believe otherwise.
Hey, Rinwell. That story you told us about the Dark Wings. It said that the evil king was vanquished with a holy flame, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then there might be some truth to that old story after all. It looks like all the rubble here had been scarred by flames.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. If we can find someone around here, we might be able to get them to tell us what happened. Dohalim, you forgot to take care of the fire yesterday.
What do you mean, take care of? Ah, yes. You meant to put it out?
Yep. If it stays lit, we could end up in real trouble real fast.
I see. I apologize for not realizing that. I shall be more careful in the future.
The way he's talking, it's like the thought of putting it out himself never even occurred to him.
Moving on, Dohalim, I should mention that the clasp for your cape is about to come undone.
Oh yes, I tried to fix that myself, but it simply refused to cooperate with me.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. Are you telling me Renans can't even dress themselves?
Lords like Dohalim have attendants that take care of just about everything they need, so I'm not surprised he sometimes struggles with the basics.
Even by those standards, you've got to admit this is still a little extreme.
Shion has got a point. I mean, you don't see Renans like her needing so much help to get stuff done.
In my case, circumstances forced me to learn how to be independent. Even so, I still think Dohalim could afford to pick up a few more self-sufficient skills.
Well, specifically speaking, what would you suggest that I learn?
For starters, I think it'd be good for you to learn how to dress. And put on shoes. How to comb your hair is equally important. And learning to manage your possessions better. And then from there...
She sounds like his mom rattling all that off.
Oh, and another thing. About your owl, Rinwell.
What is it?
When he starts to molt, would you be willing to give me his old feathers? I think I could find a use for them.
What do you intend to do with those?
Well, recently, I haven't been sleeping well. However, I hear pillows made from owl feathers are very comfortable and wish to make one.
This is why I hate you, Renans!
Did I say something offensive?
Next time, put your own needs aside for a second and think about how someone might react first. Then consider if it's worth asking at all.
Those out in the valley? Windmills? They're huge.
They're most likely used to harvest wind astral energy, so they have to be big.
All of you, stop right there! Don't move!
They have us surrounded.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
You first! Show yourself!
I'm the one asking the questions here. Don't try anything funny. One wrong move, and I guarantee we'll blow you away.
What are you...
My name is Alphen. I came here from Calaglia.
Alphen? The wielder of the blazing sword?
Getting pretty famous, isn't he?
Here is my proof. Will that suffice? Or do I have to burn down one of those houses to make my point?
No need. I believe you. I'm Beifong of the Darkwings. Sorry for threatening to blow you away. We're still hunting down the remnants of the enemy forces, so everyone's more than a bit on edge right now. Please forgive me.
Remaining? Wait, you mean you already took down the Lord of this realm?
That's right. We took her weapons and turned them right back on her.
Are you the Dahnan leader here in Niez?
Nah, I'm just one of the commanders. Deadeye's the one who runs the show. I'd be happy to take you to him. Just one problem. The Renans. Seems the rumors you were running with them were true. You do understand, right? I mean, we only just liberated the city from their kind. Everyone's short on trust. And for good reason. Especially Deadeye. I think it'd be best if those two waited outside.
Not going to happen.
I don't think it's a good idea for us to split up. It's too dangerous.
Then it's on your head, friend. Our base is that way.
You could have left me behind, you know.
This isn't just about you, Dohalim.
Ah, yes.
I guess even after you beat the Renans, your work's only really just begun, huh?
Yeah. This place seems like it's got a lot of issues to fix.
So you're elfin, are ya? Thought you'd be bigger. Huh. Guess the armor beefs you up a bit. You've got a lot of people talking, you know. But in this town, I call the shots. You play by my rules here. Just remember that. Gotta say, I didn't expect you to run with a gang of women and kids. Those other lords must have been real pushovers, huh?
Seriously? Are you this rude to everyone you meet?
Don't interrupt me, you brat. Didn't your parents teach you any manners?
Why, you?
So you're the one who took down the lord of this realm, huh? How'd you pull that off?
We just swiped the Renan's explosives. And then we blasted them all to hell and back.
Explosives? That's a pretty bold approach. But how'd you manage to avoid hurting your own people?
I didn't, that's how. But the chance to take out a lord was worth the sacrifice.
And the Lord? What did this sacrifice earn you?
Unfortunately, we couldn't manage to finish her off. But now we've really got the girl on the run.
She ran? A lord?
Yeah, the lady was just a coward. She had a whole lot more bark than bite, that's for sure. She's probably hiding off in a hole somewhere. But not for long. We'll find her and drag her right back into town. Then she'll get what's coming to her.
I wouldn't be so sure. She may run, but she'll never go quiet.
Shut up, Bright Eyes! I would have run you through already if you weren't with the blazing sword here.
The whole reason you're fighting is to free the Dahnans in this realm, is it not? If
Shut
so,
your
then...
mouth, witch! That's enough! If you're really fighting for us Dahnans, why keep these bastards around? Why haven't you killed them already?
I'm not going to kill these bastards.
Whoa. Is that the case, huh? Then tell me the point of the show.
They're my friends.
Friends? Renans are Renans. The scum-sucking bastards who've been draining our souls for 300 years now. But you know that. Maybe it's 'cause you and that little lady are friends and more.
for that!
That's enough! Deadeye, you know that was completely uncalled for.
All of you, get the hell out of my realm! And don't ever come back! This is Dahnan's realm and it's ours, understand? I call the shots here. And I make the rules. I do, Deadime, leader of the Dark Wings!
Yeah! Deadime! Liberator Deadime! You are the true leader of this realm! We're not afraid of any Bright Eyes!
It's only a matter of time before I throw every last Bright Eye out of this realm!
The Dark Wings! The Dark Wings rule!
Hey, wait up! Told you so, didn't I? You should have left your Renan pals outside.
You don't agree with him, do you? I could tell by the look on your face in there.
That's how things are with him. He loses his temper, then I step in and calm things down.
Better you than me.
If that's all, I think it's past time we were going.
Look, I just wanted to apologize for what Deadime said in there.
At least somebody's got some manners around here.
He didn't used to be like that. But, well, that's what losing most of your loved ones will do to a man. He may never forgive the Renans.
It's a little ironic how indistinguishable his manner is to that of a lord.
Hey, Bayfon? Deadeye mentioned the Lord is still on the run. Any ideas where she might be?
We looked all over, but found no traces of her. We heard some rumblings about activity in Estaluva Forest, but that's it.
Estaluva, huh?
Wait, you're not going after her, are you? Certainly won't win you any favors with Deadime.
This isn't Deadime's war, and we're certainly not fighting it for him. Besides, it's like Shion said, her type isn't going to go quietly.
Hey, it's your funeral. Don't say I didn't warn you.
We'll be sure to keep you out of it. Before we set out, though, is there anywhere around here we can rest?
Sure. Building at the end of the road, opposite side. It's all yours. We use it as temporary lodging, to house people who don't have a new place to live quite yet.
We're not going to run into any trouble there, are we?
Rumors of a certain fiery sword have spread fast. I doubt anyone will be eager to give you guys problems. And here's where I say my farewell. You're on your own, but good hunting.
Before you go, how come you don't hate the Renans as well?
Oh, believe me, I've got my bone to pick with the Renans. Just not with two of them I've never so much as laid eyes on before.
Let's head on over to that lodge. We'll figure out what our next move is there.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
I get the feeling Deadime signed up to be a rebel so he could have a roost to rule. Heck, he's no better than a lord. In some ways, he's even worse.
I know. How could he use explosives on his own people?
And yet, despite the toll of his actions, none of the Dahnans we've seen seem to question his assumed authority in the least. If anything, they may well consider him a hero, which would say a great deal toward how deeply they resented the Renans here.
Still, I don't think this is as simple as saying the good guys won out over the bad ones.
Yeah, I don't either. Deadeye might have managed to drive the Renans out of Niaz, but that doesn't make the way he did it okay. No matter which way you look at it.
A victory that's earned by throwing away the lives of his own people? No, that isn't a victory at all. I can understand that the Dahnans here are standing up against their oppression, but that doesn't mean they have to humiliate all Renans just to settle the score.
I'm perfectly able to stand up for myself, Alphen. Besides, I'm used to it by...
But you shouldn't have to be, Shion. It's just... What I mean to say is, when you've been a slave for so long, it's easy to accept that's how it should be because it's all you've ever known. Constantly being belittled is no different. I don't think that's fair. For me or for you.
I just don't know, man.
Don't know what?
Deadeye managed to drive out a real live Renin Lord. That's incredible. And he seems to have a lot of supporters surrounding him too. But he's got an attitude worse than any angry Zoogle. Plus, Niaz is in utter ruins. I don't have a clue what his game is.
The Renins are powerful. And because of that, it takes a strong leader to have any hope of toppling them. However, when you take down one dictator only to replace them with another, ultimately it's just business as usual.
If it'd been Zephyr instead of Deadeye, I don't think things would have turned out like this.
Rinwell.
Yeah, I think so too. Zephyr did things differently top to bottom. He's not the kind of person who would have forced his own views or decisions on other people. When you do that, you're ruling over others, not leading them.
To be honest, I don't know what I would have wanted my dad to do if he was in that position.
Law.
The whole thing feels weird in a way. It's a weird kind of feeling, but at the same time, part of me also feels happy. Deadeye and my dad are two very different men. For now, I'm content knowing that.
The city is liberated, and yet the air still hums with fear and anxiety. It reminds me all too well of how Vicente once was.
Hums? You mean like music?
Yeah, none of this sounds like music to my ears. In fact, I've never seen any Dahnans with musical instruments in my life.
You don't need instruments to play music. It can emerge naturally from the sounds of people going about their day and the hustle and bustle of life.
You seem to care a lot about music, Dohalim. I didn't know that about you.
Have I not mentioned it? Before I was a candidate for the lordship, I had my heart set on the life of a musician.
You? A musician?
Indeed, music enriches the world around us. I trained day and night to hone my art. Words could not describe my bliss, as my notes carried with them the sights and sounds of nature, the ebb and flow of time, and the thoughts of people on the wind.
Dohalim.
Forgive me. My loquaciousness can get the best of me at times.
Don't apologize. It's interesting hearing what Renin culture is like.
Even though the Renins destroyed all of our arts and culture.
Personally, I was interested in the music of Dahna as well. The fact that generations of lords deemed music to be of no use to their slaves and outright forbade the ownership of instruments is lamentable. Not that my words can undo the damage already done.